What's up, guys? We are live for UFC 253, and it's actually a pretty solid card. I mean, before last week, looking into it, I really wasn't all that excited for it, but just getting into it and digging in more, I'm really liking this card. Adesanya Costa, Reyes, Blachowicz is going to be very fun, and there's also some really good fights scattered throughout the Clark card. I think Shane Young and Klein is going to be candidate for Fight of the Night. Alexa Camur versus William Knight's going to be a very fun fight as well. It's really looking forward to this card as a whole. As always, ask questions throughout the live stream. I'll get into all of those. And I do have 3 bets I want to talk about and really excited about all those. And then there might be another bet I add sometime tomorrow. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. And I'll be posting my bets sometime tomorrow afternoon. And then I'll be doing my betting breakdown on Saturday as well. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. What's up, Bib? What's up, Andrew? You got Costa by KO. What's up, Mystic Sosa? What's up, Will? It's midnight in Europe. Could you possibly do the Friday stream an hour earlier? Maybe, possibly. I think 7's a good time for a lot of people, but you're right. Maybe 6 would be okay, but as of now, it's probably going to be 7. What's up, Lee? What's up? Let's get it. Yep, let's get it. I'm really excited for this card. At first, I did not like any spot at all. I thought I would have to go out there and bet Khadis Ibrahimov, but I found 3 spots I really like, and we'll definitely talk about it. If you guys did not get in yet to the contest that I do for every pay-per-view, go to my predictions video that I posted on Wednesday. Like the video, subscribe, and then comment down how many significant strikes you think that Costa and Adesanya are going to combine for. I do it every pay-per-view. Winner gets $25. A lot of people have been getting really close. Nobody's got it yet, but hopefully somebody gets it on the dot this week. Thank you all for hanging out. We're about to get started here, and we're going to start with the first fight of the night. And if you guys didn't notice, I got a new microphone, but it turns out it wasn't the microphone. It was my laptop, so I had to drive an hour and go buy a whole new laptop, and it was a lot of money. So hopefully win some of that money back this week. But starting with the first fight of the night, and usually they don't give us the people's main event until like the main card or the main event, but we're getting the people's main event on the first fight of the night. Khadis Ibrahimov versus Danilo Marquez. People's main event. It's the best fight on the card. And I'm being very sarcastic saying that. What is this fight? This fight makes absolute no sense to me. Going into it, I thought, oh, Khadis Ibrahimov is a favorite. We can go out here and fade him. And then watching tape on Marquez, oh my goodness. I mean, he hasn't fought in 2 years. He's fought very, very questionable guys. I don't think he's beat anybody with a winning record. And, watching tape on him, he does not have any striking. His wrestling is very poor. He has a decent ground game, but he's taking these low-level guys down. He's getting reversed by these low-level guys. These low-level guys are standing up very easy. And say what you want against Ibrahimov, but he's tough. I mean, he's 0-3 in the UFC, but he's fought some okay competition. Of course, Ed Herman's not a bad loss. The Lidze guy he looks legit, and then the Dungun guy, he's really good as well. But I don't know. This fight is very, very weird here. I'm gonna pick Ibrahimov to win. I'm not gonna bet it. I was actually really tempted betting Ibrahimov earlier in the week because I did not understand the line. But if I bet Ibrahimov as a favorite and he lost, I would never, ever hear the end of it. That'd be an awful bet. Just betting this fight in general, I don't think it's the best idea. It's probably a stay-away fight. Minus 175 if fight does not go to decision. I think it has a decent shot of ending inside the distance. If Marquez wins, it's probably a submission. If Ibrahimov wins, I'd say it's a knockout, but he doesn't really have many knockouts on his record. So very weird fight here. Definitely staying away. On Draftkings, it's a whole other story. Typically, we like to target these very weird, awkward, messy fights because they tend to somehow score well. And, it's the first fight of the night. And it seems like no matter who's fighting, whether it's Sabina Mazo, whether it's anybody, the first fight of the night tends to end up on the optimal lineup. So I'm very tempted to, go pretty heavy on the ownership on Draftkings because nobody's going to play Ibrahimov. Nobody's going to play Marquez. Nobody's going to play these guys. So I'm probably going to double my ownership on this fight. And I do think it has a solid chance of ending up on the optimal lineup no matter how ugly it is. So my pick is Ibrahimov. But would I be surprised if Marquez pulled off some kind of submission? No, not really, I guess, but he just does not look great to me. So who do you guys have in this fight? Are you guys interested in this fight at all? Ibrahimov must have something on Dana to still be in the UFC and now fighting this guy. Yeah, I mean, something weird's going on there. What's up, Rob? Let's get it this week. I think they're giving this fight to Cadiz. Yeah, and the sad thing is, like, I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those fights where after the fight, we're going to say, why didn't we bet Cadiz Ibrahimov at minus 165? But the smart move is going to be a pass there. Are you worried about the size advantage? No, not really. He is 6'6". He does have a decent height advantage there. Pass for sure. I did inside the distance. That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look because they both tend to slow down, especially Ibrahimov does not have a gas tank, but Marquez doesn't have the best gas tank himself. What about betting the under in this fight? Honestly, guys, I just want to stay away as far away from this fight as possible. But the under is not a bad look, I guess. All right. Have you seen the prices yet on FanDuel? And is this the first fight worth exposure to both sides on FanDuel? Yeah, this is a fight I would target. I have a feeling it scores high. No matter how ugly it is, I do think it has a decent chance of ending up on the optimal lineup. All right, so enough of this fight. Not interested from a betting perspective, but we're going to get into the first leg of my parlay here. And I have two-leg parlays on this card, and then I have a straight bet. And I might add I believe I'm looking at a under or a fight doesn't go to decision prop that I think is a little off. We'll talk about it. But this is the first leg of my parlay. I have Juan Espino in that parlay at minus 300. Was kind of concerned with that layoff he had, but just after seeing the weigh-ins, all my questions were answered then and there. I think he's the better fighter. I think he has more paths to victory. Very good submission game, very good wrestling. Was very surprised with what I saw from his wrestling. Although Jeff Hughes does have good takedown defense, I do think that Espino is going to get him down and submit him in that first round. I really like Juan Espino, and especially seeing, Jeff Hughes on the scales, like, he looked kind of, I wouldn't say as bad as Jake Collier, but I mean, he gave me that Collier vibe. And, right then and there, I had to, play Espino in some type of way. And minus 300, you can't really play that straight. It's too wide. But put him in a parlay with somebody else above the card. I really like that quite a bit. So give me Juan Espino in a parlay. I have 1.5 units on. I'll go over the other leg very soon. But I really like him to win this fight. I was also looking at Juan Espino by submission, but the bookmakers were all over it. It's like plus 100, plus 105, something like that. So they're all over that. I'm just going to put him in the parlay there. Espino inside the distance isn't bad. Espino round one sub is something that's interesting. But just give me Espino in that parlay there. Fairly confident in that. I'm just not high on Jeff Hughes. I don't see, how he wins this fight unless Espino gasses out after that first. And Espino looked like he was in really good shape. And Jeff Hughes looked the opposite. So give me Espino here. Fairly confident in that pick there. All right. Juan will win this. Jeff looks out of shape. Yes, he does look pretty out of shape there. He looked massive. I was extremely impressed. I really like him there. Isn't Juan 40? He is 39 years old. Yeah, that's true. Is there a link to that spreadsheet? Yeah, there should be a link in the description. A lot of you guys have already signed up, but I do have a betting package where I go over my bets throughout the week. I post them, and then I do a video breakdown shortly after. And then my betting article that comes out sometime tonight as well. I'm on Espino, the man from Canary Islands. Yeah, I like Espino quite a bit. He looked pretty muscular, and that's what I was waiting for. I really wanted to see the weigh-ins for this fight. I wanted to see how Juan Espino looked like. And then it's just a bonus, I guess, seeing how bad Jeff Hughes looked. He looked pretty bad. Tough card. You are right. I was really struggling to find some spots on this card. I had a big bet earlier in the week, and then I had to really, really dig to find some spots, but I do like the 3 spots I have for this week. I'm not going to force anything. This is not a card where you want to bet a ton because a lot of these fights are really hard to call, and some of these lines are a little too wide. So I really like the spots I have this week, and I'm ready to make some money there. Looks like everybody is on Espino. I mean, I've seen some people pick Jeff Hughes, maybe because of the layoff. Other than that, I don't really see why I think Espino should get this done, and hopefully inside the distance, because on DraftKings, 9,100, I'm going to have a decent amount. I think he has some solid upside. He has what we're looking for in that first round submission. Get a takedown, get a couple advances, get Hughes out of there. So Espino on DraftKings, I do like. Getting into the next fight, Alexa Camur versus William Knight. And this is a fight that, I don't know, it's weird. It seems like the whole world is on Knight, or at least the majority of the world is on Knight, and the line is staying the same, and the line's even actually getting wider on Camur's side. The line, people are betting I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's really weird. It's I see a ton of people on night, and I don't really get it. I mean, he has big power, he's huge, but at the weigh-ins, like Camur looks like the bigger fighter by a decent margin. I think the height advantage is, we'll take a look at the numbers here, but it looked a lot bigger than I was imagining. Only a 5'11", well, only a 3-inch height advantage. That does not seem right to me. It looked a lot more than 3 inches to me, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are kind of overrating Knight. I don't know what it is. I'm not too impressed with the guy just watching him. I'm more impressed with Camur, and I know he had a poor UFC debut against Justin Ledet, but maybe he had some octagon jitter or something like that. And Knight does hit very hard. It's just Camur looks very, very durable. I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. My pick is Camur, and I'm not going to bet it. I was expecting some more money to come in on Knight. That's just not the case. So at minus 165, I'm just going to pass. If it got anywhere better than like minus 150, if it got to minus 145, I probably would have pulled the trigger. But at minus 165, I'm just going to sit back and relax. Of course, Knight is at a nice knockout threat there. He's finished 100% of his fights. Camur's finished 83% of his fights. I was looking at the under 1.5, going to pass on that as well. It should be a really fun fight, though. One of the fights I'm really looking forward to see is William Knight the real deal? I don't know. I wasn't too impressed, but he does have that power. So give me Alexa Camur. Not going to bet it. On DraftKings, this is a fight you're going to want. William Knight at 7,600 is a good play. I mean, he has that knockout upside, great finishing ability, and Camur at 8,600 is a decent play as well. He's a finisher himself, and we have seen Knight finish before. So definitely a fight I do want to target on DraftKings, but going to stay away from a betting perspective. I'm sure a lot of people are on Knight. I think Tukhugov will be fine. We'll talk about that soon. Camur all day, easy money. I just wish the line would close a little bit more. Everybody's betting Knight, but that line's not moving. William Knight gets himself in really bad positions, but finds ways to win. Yeah, he does. He really does. Over 1.5 in a parlay. I think you'll get good odds on that, but I don't know. It's a really risky doing the over or the under in this fight, I think. What's up, Dave? Knight's chin is there to be hit. Yeah. Who missed weight today? We'll talk a little bit about it, but let's see. Who missed weight? It was who was it? Tukhugov. It was Tukhugov and Klein missed weight. I think those were the only two. Knight and Klein both priced at 16 on FanDuel. Do you have a preferred play? Probably Klein, but I think they're both really good plays there. What's the people's main event this week? It is Ibrahimov and Marquez. It's the people's main event. Everybody's looking forward to see that one. Royval for the win. We'll talk about that very soon. These Dana White Contender Series players have been losing lately after looking decent on the show. That's a really good point. They have. And I don't know. I think there could be some recency bias. I mean, Knight looked really good on the Contender Series, and Camur looked really poor in his UFC debut. But sometimes you see some of these guys look really bad in their debut and come back and look fantastic. Like the Tyler Santos, the girl that fought Molly McCann. She looked very, very good. All right, so getting into the next fight here. And we have possible fight of the night candidate. This is probably the fight I'm most excited to watch besides the main event and co-main event. It is Shane Young versus Ludovic Klein. And this is my first bet of the evening. And I have a play on Ludovic Klein at plus 105. I know a lot of people got like plus 130, plus 120. Maybe some people even got plus 150. But, when I was all said and done watching tape, finally got around to it, and I had to pull the trigger before the line flipped, and it did indeed flip. He's now minus 115, minus 120 on some books. So I have one unit on Ludovic Klein at plus 105. I like that play a lot. Still plus money. Would have loved to give it at plus 130, but I'll take what I can get. And just watching tape on Klein, I was extremely impressed. I was not going in there expecting all of that. Like, he has very, very good hands. His head kick is unbelievable. Very good power. And just overall, very impressed. A 94% finish rate. And just watching tape on Shane Young, like, this dude gets hit. This dude, he is there to be hit. He does not play defense whatsoever. I've seen him head kicked multiple times. And I'll tell you one thing, you cannot get head kicked by Klein. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Klein is going to win by a head kick knockout. I'm telling you guys, this head kick is absolutely vicious. And I think it's going to hit. Like, Young tends to slow down later in the fights. He tends to drop his hands. later in the fights. He has no regards to any defense. He wants to brawl, and that head kick's going to be there. And Klein has some really good hands himself as well. So I really like Klein on the spot. It is a close fight. Young is very, very tough. He's never been finished, but there is a first for anything. I think somebody in this fight is going to get knocked out. Minus 155, fight doesn't go to decision. That's not bad. The under is not a bad look as well. I think the under is like minus 120. I think it's going to be a firefight. I do think someone gets finished, and I think that Klein is going to knock Young out with a beautiful head kick. And yeah, I'm really excited for this guy. This guy looks like the real deal. And the weigh-ins was pretty exciting as well. So give me Ludovic Klein at 8,300 on DraftKings as well. DraftKings took their time to add this fight. I don't know why, but Klein was an underdog all week. And then when DraftKings finally decided to add the fight in, the line flipped. They put Klein at 8,300. Very unfortunate there, because I wish Klein was at like 7,900, 7,800, but we'll take what I can get and pretty much play both sides of this fight. Young's going to throw a ton of strikes. He threw like 120 in one fight, landed 120 in one fight, landed 104 in another fight. The winner of this fight is going to score well. This is going to be one of my highest owned fights on the whole slate. This is a fight you're going to want in your lineup for the winner there. Is Klein on for a finish? I believe so, yeah. I think he can. Favorite dogs on DraftKings, I'll go over that after we get through all the fights here. I hope so far after that barking Young was doing. Let's see here. Young did have a full 2-month camp, though, and it's easier to look good in the regional scene. Just my 2 cents. No, that's true, but he looks legit. He really does look legit. You always can factor in that level of competition, but he really surprised me. So he did miss weight by 4 pounds, and he looked fine. I don't think he really tried to cut all that weight, like somebody else will talk about. He looked fine to me, so I'm not too concerned about him being drained or anything. It's not a great thing to miss weight, but I think he'll be fine. What book did you switch to? I already had a couple books originally, but Bet Online is something I use, Bovada, and then the DraftKings Sportbook are just some of my books I use. Klein is live in round 1. After that, he fades, and Young's pressure is huge. Yeah, I mean, Young will definitely be there, but Young kind of slows down himself. So are you going live on Odds HQ? Yes, I am, around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Klein, first round, head kick KO. The head kick's going to be there, guys. If this head kick lands, props to me for calling that. But if anybody watched tape, you can definitely see that the head kick will be there. Why are you always trying to get us to bet on the first fight of the night? Not bet on it, just more from a DraftKings perspective. You should not bet on the first fight of the night. But on DraftKings, you do want exposure to the first fight of the night. You do want exposure to fights like this that have a good chance of scoring high. All right, getting into the next fight here. But yeah, that's a fight I'm really, really looking forward to. And another fight that's kind of interesting here. Jake Matthews versus Diego Sanchez. Matthews is minus 750. And Sanchez is plus 525. So I have Matthews in a parlay, and it's a big play for me. But I got it at minus 650. I figured the line would definitely move. I thought it would get even closer to like minus 1,000. But it is sitting at minus 750, minus 800 here. I really like Matthews in this matchup. Sanchez is done. I think he's done. He's looked absolutely awful in his past couple fights. He's doing these weird stretching things. I was watching a video on Twitter, and for his training, he was like doing these stretches, and it's just weird. It's weird, and just the way he's talking. Like, I remember one of his interviews against he was fighting Michael Chiesa. Like, one of his interviews, like, very concerning. Some of the stuff this guy was saying, like, it's bad, and I really do hope Sanchez retires, because it's really, really hard to watch him in there. As for Matthews, ever since moving up to 170, he's looked very good. I think he's lost only one fight. I guess the only thing we are to be concerned about is if Matthews tries hard to get that finish and ends up gassing out in the third. But even then, I don't know. Sanchez isn't much of a finisher himself. He doesn't have a submission since 2011, 2010, something like that. Matthews has been submitted 3 times, and Sanchez isn't really a knockout threat. I just don't see it. I don't see a path to victory for Sanchez unless Matthews lands a illegal knee. So I do have Matthews in a parlay with somebody up later in the card, not with I don't have him parlayed with Espino. It's someone else, but I do like that parlay piece quite a bit. If you're doing a multiple leg parlay, I think he's fine to put in there. I know a lot of people will disagree, but I think it's fine. I think he's going to win. It's really hard to argue, how Diego Sanchez does win this fight outside of a illegal knee, outside of like an eye poke, TKO. I don't know, something weird. But he should get this done. So give me Jake Matthews all day. But on DraftKings, 9,400, he doesn't really score well, but this isn't, this is a matchup where he potentially could. Probably a really good play in cash. I think in tournaments, it's definitely viable because I really do think Sanchez is more than on his way out. So give me Matthews all day here. Like I said, I have him in a parlay with somebody we'll talk about in a little bit. But I like Matthews a lot. And hopefully Diego Sanchez definitely does retire soon. Yeah, thank you so much. Like the video, guys. I would like to get this to 100 likes by the time we're done. That would be awesome. Thoughts on Sanchez to win in round 3 if he survives round 1 and 2? I mean, I can see your point. It's just I don't really see a path to victory for that. Unless some kind of injury happens, I think it should be fine. Hey, Brady, thanks for all the work you do and put into these videos. Are there any books you recommend to get into the betting game to learn, manage bankroll, etc.? Any books? Like, do you mean like sports books? I mean, I'd recommend Bovada is a good one. Bet Online is something else I use. Thank you for the donation. Diego Sanchez versus Conor McGregor is in the talks. Yes, you are right. That fight is in the talks for sure, but it's not going to happen. If that happened, Conor in 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Conor one night, yeah, that's not going to happen. Diego's really out of shape and undersized in this fight. Matthews will get the finish. Yeah, it doesn't look like Diego's been doing much. I mean, I saw a video a couple of weeks ago, for his training camp, he was running around with a knife, or somebody was running around with a knife in the octagon. It was very weird. It's very weird stuff going on. I'm thinking about Matthews and Caitlin parlay. Not sure. Okay, I actually like that. Sanchez ruined my lineups last time as an underdog. That DQ came in. Yeah, it hurt though. Yeah, that hurt me as well. Pereira was looking fantastic, and then that DQ happened. But I really do like Matthews in this spot. Next fight, Diego gets to beat Brock Weaver. Fantastic matchup right there. Brock Weaver versus Diego Sanchez. I honestly don't know who I would pick in that fight. It's a very tough fight to call. Two guys that, should not be in the UFC right now. Diego versus CM Punk is another good one for sure. Matthews is so expensive. Yeah, he really is. 9,400. I don't think you need to play him, but I do think there's some sneaky upside. He's not typically a great DraftKings scorer, but in this matchup, I think that it's pretty decent. All right, so getting into... No, I don't hate Brock Weaver. I just I just don't think he should be in the UFC. That's all. All right, so getting into the next fight here. Brad Riddell versus Alex De Silva. Riddell is minus 340, and De Silva is plus 280. So I think Riddell wins. I think he wins. I'm just kind of trying to find out how does he win? Does he get the finish? Silva's never been knocked out, but just by looking at some of these guys Silva's fought, I think he started out his career 19-0, 20-0, but he's fought some really poor, questionable competition. And Brad Riddell's a beast. Brad Riddell's somebody I'm really high on. The only thing is Riddell has been taken down 10 times, of course, against better wrestlers, but this should be a really good fight. Minus 150, fight doesn't go to decision. So the odds makers are all over that one. I thought it would kind of be a sneaky play here. De Silva, 95% finish rate. Riddell, 63% finish rate. I can definitely see Riddell getting a finish here by knockout plus 130. And inside the distance, knockout plus 155. I don't hate that. I think that there's a decent chance he does get a finish. I don't know if I'm going to lay my money on it. I think Riddell is a fine parlay piece if you're doing a couple legs there. I do think he gets it done. Just not all that impressed with De Silva. For De Silva to win, I guess he's going to have to get this to the mat and maybe find a submission. I don't think that's all that likely. Riddell has a really good get-up game. So really it should be Riddell all day here and possibly get a finish. I think on the feet it's really not even going to be close. So give me Brad Riddell here. I'm going to say a knockout. Don't know if I'm going to bet that plus 155 knockout prop, but it is very intriguing. And make sure you guys tune into the betting breakdown video tomorrow morning going over the best bets for every single fight. Have been giving out a lot of good plays on there that I have not taken advantage of, which I probably should. There was one last week, women's MMA fight. Forget which one it was, but called the submission and did not take advantage of that. But Yeah, I think Riddell. I think it could be a decent play. Riddell inside the distance plus 130. As for DraftKings 9,200, it's not bad. I think that he could put on a big pace and possibly find a knockout. Take a look at the striking stats here. 4.3 significant strikes per minute, 57%, and that's also with him getting, taken down, grappled a bunch of times as well. Man, interrupting my live stream. All right, so what do you guys have in this fight? Do you guys have Riddell in a play or anything like that? Riddell will clip him. Yeah, I think so as well. Is Riddell look worth putting in a parlay? I think so. I think is a good parlay piece. I don't have him in a parlay. If I do a Hail Mary, he'll be in there, but I think he's a fine parlay piece. Stop downgrading Diego. He's still good. All right. Yeah, I mean, he's good. Silva might lay and pray to decision if he can get the takedown. I can kind of see it. It's just Riddell has a really good get-up game. I have Riddell with Iz and Reyes in a 3-leg. Not bad there. Espino, a lock. I wouldn't say a lock, but I think he's probably my second most confident pick on the card. Hello. The Silva by sub. Blowing up in the world. You guys are doing the show later on Odds HQ. Yes, we'll be on there. When Brady answers his phone, he says, yellow. That is not true. That is not true. I got Riddell and Espino in a parlay. Yeah, that's good. I wonder what the odds are in that. It's got to be like minus 150, minus 155 around there. But yeah, I think it's a good, safe parlay there. Riddell seems good for a KO early round finish on DK. Yeah, I think I will have him too. Yeah, I'm really tempted to bet that KO prop. Thinking about it. Tune in tomorrow to the betting breakdown. I don't know. Let's see here. I have a city kickboxing parlay for fun. No shame in that. Thoughts on William Knight? Kind of went over it. I'm going the other way, but I do think he has a chance to get a finish. He's a very dangerous guy. All right, so getting into Espino, Riddell, Jake, and Reyes parlay. I like it. Thank you for the donation. Really appreciate that. My friends were playing a drinking game where they take a shot each time you say, maybe, I don't know. Please send help. They died. That's really funny. Appreciate the donation, though. But maybe, I don't know. So we will get into the next fight here. And this is a very good fight. Zabur Tukhugov versus Hakeem Dawodu. And a lot of money is coming in on Tukhugov ever since he missed weight. He missed weight by 4 or 5 pounds, which I do think that's an advantage. He looked really good on the scale. So, kind of questioning if he did try to make that weight. And I was on Tukhugov to begin with. I'm still on him here. I think he can get takedowns. I think he has more paths to victory. He hits very, very hard. Dawodu does leave openings. Dawodu has been rocked and dropped before. And I like Tukhugov here. Am I going to bet it? Probably not. I think this fight could be very close. But some odds I'm interested in is the under. 2.5 is kind of interesting at, I think it's plus 180. Fight doesn't go to decision at plus 145. I think those lines are kind of off. I can see both guys finishing, whether it's Tukhugov in the first round or Dawodu in the second or third round if Tukhugov does slow down. So those are some lines I'm potentially looking at for a play. Tukhugov by KO plus 470. Dawodu by KO plus 520. Man, I don't know. I think these lines are kind of off. I kind of feel like this fight has potential to finish. I don't know what it is, but I guess it's because typically they have not been finishing. Dawodu 64% finish rate. Tukhugov 52% finish rate. But I don't know. I think Tukhugov should get it done, most likely by decision, but I do think there could be a possible finish in this fight. As for DraftKings, I mean, I like a lot of fights other than this, like the Knight fight, the Klein and Young fight, of course, Adesanya, Costa. But this could be one of those sneaky fights. I think this is going to be the lowest owned fight in that range. So why not play some of it just in case it does finish and you'll be looking really good, because I do think both these guys should be either really close to 20% or a little bit under 20%. So on DraftKings, I will have some exposure for that reason, for that low ownership, and because both guys are more than capable of getting a finish in this spot. But my pick is Tukhugov. Not going to bet it, but I am taking a close look at that under, and I'm taking a close look at that fight does not go to decision prop at plus 145. MX 500. Thank you for the donation. I don't know what the MX means, but I really appreciate that. Appreciate it, Carlo. Yeah, 500. I don't know what the MX means, but that looks good. So I really appreciate that, dude. Thanks for the good picks, Brady. No problem. I'm feeling a really good card here from a picks perspective as well. Had a really good card from a predictions perspective last week. Hopefully can get a perfect card. There's one fight that kind of iffy about, but I'm feeling good about all my picks here. Oh, it's pesos 20. Okay, $20. Really appreciate that. Mexican. Okay, got it. I'm not familiar with all that, but appreciate you. All right, so which is your best Patreon for the money? What do you mean by that? Tukhugov by submission. I think he has one submission on his record. All right, so yeah, not interested from a betting perspective, but I do think it's a fight you want on DraftKings. So now we're going to fill out one of my parlays. Yep, I'm going to do it, regardless of talking some smack about the women's MMA over the past month and a half, 2 months. I think it's time we move on from the Agapova fiasco, from the Calderwood fiasco, from the Molly McCann fiasco, and we move on. We move on from the women's MMA narrative, and we put some money on Caitlin Vieira. We put her in a parlay with Juan Espino for plus 104. I have 1.5 units on that play, and I liked Vieira before the weigh-ins, and after the weigh-ins, I like her a lot. Eubanks had to, she didn't look great. She did not look great at the weigh-ins. She had to do like 3 weight cuts in the past month. It's not good. And her cardio looked good in her last fight, but is it going to hold up here? And I just see this fight definitely touching the mat. And even on the feet, you got to kind of favor Vieira a little bit too. But on the mat, it's Vieira all day. I'm struggling to see a path to victory for Eubanks besides saying women's MMA. That's the only path to victory I can see. I really like Vieira here. I think we're getting a very good buy low spot on Vieira because she just got knocked out. Eubanks isn't going to knock nobody out. And Eubanks just beat Julia Avila, and she was like plus 280. So we're getting a very good buy low spot here. People are chasing that Eubanks money. They weren't able to get it last time. Why not, take Eubanks as a dog this time? And I understand it, but I really like Vieira in this spot. Eubanks is a black belt in BJJ, but just watching tape, it doesn't look like she's a black belt in BJJ. It's, I don't know. She doesn't look great. I've seen her, controlled by Aspen Ladd, dominated on the mat by Aspen Ladd. She just does not look all that great I think, she could have even maybe submitted Julia Avila if she wanted to. She didn't try to. I don't know. I just don't think she's the best grappler. I think Vieira all day on the mat, Vieira on the feet as well. And I like that parlay. I like that parlay quite a bit. So give me Vieira on DraftKings. I don't know. She's not really a decent scorer on DraftKings, and I don't see her finishing Eubanks. Eubanks has never been finished. But this is probably going to be one of my lower owned fights on the card. Eubanks is fine. Even in a loss, she scores decent. If she does win, she'll score really good. But I really like Vieira in this spot. So what do you guys think about this? And thank you, Bernie, for the donation. It was a minor sub by plus 500 you were talking about. Oh, yeah, that too. You have different selections when you get to the Patreon page. Yeah, the UFC betting is the new one I just added there. It has all the betting stuff, like when I post a bet, do a video breakdown, all that good stuff, Discord access, all that good stuff. Eubanks was pretty good the other week or so. I don't know if Vieira can win, though, by sub. By the way, good fade fight. Yeah, it could be a good fade fight on DraftKings. I don't see anybody subbing anybody. If anybody gets a sub, it's probably Vieira, but just don't think that's likely. Will Vieira score well on FanDuel? I think there's better options, but I do think she wins. Let's see here. Eubanks got the big left, and Vieira was knocked out by Adana. Yeah, that's kind of. I don't know. I think she'll be fine. Eubanks isn't typically someone who goes out there and gets finishes. I think she's finished. Yeah, 33% of her fights, 44% overall. High-level judo. Yeah, I do think that Vieira gets the fight to the ground and she does some work for sure. I love how Eubanks pulls down her lip to show her gold tooth. A sub is paying. Let's see what submission is for me here. Vieira plus 565. Is that what it says? Yeah, plus 565 for submission. That's not bad. Vieira got KO'd by Aldana. Melo didn't get knocked out by Aldana. I mean, we can't look at any of that stuff. All right, so that's my parlay. My first parlay. I have another one we'll talk about, but Vieira and Juan Espino for plus 104, 1.5 units on that. I'm very comfortable with that. I know women's MMA, blah, blah, blah. It should be good. Kai France versus Brandon Royval. And I'm really, really tempted to take a shot on the dog here. I really like Royval. He's extremely good on the mat. It's just the problem is, will he get it to the mat? And I'm not so sure he does. France has some pretty solid takedown defense, but I don't know. I kind of have a feeling it does touch the mat at some point. And if it does, I think Royval's going to have an extremely good advantage. And even on the feet, like France typically goes to these really close decisions. And watching tape on Royval, I mean, France is going to have the striking advantage for sure, but Royval's striking doesn't look all that bad. So plus 200, very good submission threat. If this does touch the ground, he's going to do some work. The striking is in favor of France, but I feel like it could be decently close. France does slow down as well, or Royval's not going to slow down. Plus 200 is not looking all that bad to me. Let's see, Royval by submission, plus 425. They're all over that. France by knockout, plus 415. Yeah, if I was to bet on this fight, I'd probably take a shot on Royval. I don't know if I'm going to yet. Typically, I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. If this stays on the feet, you got to favor France, but even then, I feel like it could be kind of close. On DraftKings, I think France at 8,900 is going to be the lowest owned play in that range. It's between him and Caitlin Vieira. But if he's able to keep this on the feet, maybe he finds a finish. I don't know. Or Royval at 7,300. If he does get it to the mat, he can definitely do some damage. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get it there. On the feet, it's going to be very close. But give me Royval for the win. I'm going to take the underdog here. I don't know if I'm going to bet it yet, but really, really tempted to, especially at plus 200. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have France? I see a lot of people did parlay Kai France. I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I think people are going to be sweating. Royval fight should go 3 rounds. Nice floor on DraftKings. You're right. Royval by sub is the play. I mean, if he can get it there, I think he'll probably get a submission. I think it's going to hit the ground for sure at some point. I can definitely see it, whether Royval, gets a takedown, pulls guard, maybe France even takes down Royval. You think it's the people's main? Possibly. I mean, it should be a really good fight. Round 3 sub. Kai France just survived 1, and Royval's crazy push. I think Royval will be there all 3 rounds, though. Under 2.5 plus 150. Thoughts? It's interesting. I personally want to do it myself, but it is interesting for sure. Why is this the featured fight? I think it should be a good fight, actually. France is a huge jump in competition for Royval from Tim Elliott to France. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that too much. I mean, I'm a kind of a Tim Elliott fan, but I think it's definitely a winnable fight for him. Espino by finish. Knights bout inside the distance. Jake Matthews. I mean, you might as well just bet some of those straight. Espino by finish is like minus 125. But yeah, it's a decent parlay. Aldana doesn't have powerful hands. Yeah. Royval trains at Mile High. Yes, he does. I see a lot of people on Royval. Royval looked way bigger. He did. He's going to have a decent size advantage there as well. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm really tempted of taking a shot on Royval. Make sure you guys tune into that betting breakdown. Tune into my social media, Twitter, DFS by the numbers, and Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I might take a small shot on Royval. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, though. All right. Final thoughts on the main event. We will get there very soon. Stack both main events. Maybe in cash it could be viable, but all right. So we're going to get into the co-main event here, and we're going to close out my parlay. And this is a really big play for me. I got it earlier in the week. I have Dominic Reyes parlayed with Jake Matthews. I got it at minus 170. I have 3.5 units on it. Probably my biggest play since Alexander Volkanovski or Dustin Poirier. And I really like it. I got it earlier in the week. I think I got Reyes at, I want to say minus 260, around that range. He's now minus 280. He was up close to minus 300 at some point, but people, started putting some money back on Jan Blachowicz. And I got Matthews at like minus 650, is now minus 750. I think that parlay on some books is kind of close around minus 170 range, and some books it's close around the minus 180, but I'm really comfortable with that parlay. I really like Dominic Reyes in this fight. I think he's going to be the faster fighter. He's going to throw the more volume there. And I know people are going to say Polish power, but I kind of laugh whenever I see the Polish power promos and I see him knocking out Luke Rockhold. I see him knocking out Corey Anderson. Like, come on. Like, he has 3 knockouts since 2011 against 2 of the chinniest guys in the division, and against Alir Latifi in like 2013 where he had a nice body shot. But I think he hits hard, but I don't think he's some kind of crazy finisher. I mean, the stats are right there in front of your guys' eyes. 27% knockout rate. Polish power. I don't know. I think Dominic Reyes, like, this is his fight to lose. He's going to be throwing the more volume. As long as he does not gas out or nothing in those later rounds, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll win a decision or even get a knockout himself. Jan blitzes in with his chin up in the air, his chin wide open, and Reyes is a great counterpuncher. So I think he could clip him on the way in when he does that little blitz he does. So give me Reyes here, and I'm pretty confident with that pick. Dominic Reyes, 75% finish rate. Blachowicz, 62% finish rate, 35% by submission. And I guess that's the one thing I'd be concerned about, but Reyes has showed very good takedown defense, about 82%. He showed a very good get-up game, and I don't think Jan's going to want to wrestle. I think that's just going to drain him, and I think I really like Reyes in this fight. So give me Dominic Reyes at 9,000 as well. 7,200 for Jan Blachowicz is not a bad look on DraftKings, because maybe he does have that, maybe that Polish power does kick in, and he's able to clip Reyes, but I'm pretty comfortable with this Reyes and Jake Matthews parlay at minus 170. 3.5 units on a big play for me. So hopefully my night's pretty much going to be riding on Dominic Reyes and Jake Matthews. So hopefully they get it done. If they get it done, automatic winning night for me. Really looking forward to the fight as well. A lot of people are on Jan. I don't see it. And I think, people, I don't know. I really don't see it. I don't really see why. I mean, he knocked out Luke Rockhold. He knocked out Corey Anderson. I don't know. But Dominic Reyes did go to a very close decision to John Jones. And no, I'm not picking him because he went to a very close decision with John Jones. You should not pick him for that reason. And I think a lot of people are picking Dominic Reyes because he went to a very close decision with John Jones. I'm the 1% that thought John Jones slightly edged the fight, but I would not complain whatsoever if they did give it to Reyes. But I'm not picking him because he went to a close decision. I'm picking him because I think he's the better fighter by a decent margin. He's the younger fighter. He's the faster fighter, more volume. As long as his chin holds up, I think he gets it done. So give me Dominic Reyes, probably by a knockout, and probably give me 3rd round knockout there. I got Reyes at minus 260 and Matthews at minus 200, 500 2 weeks ago. Love it. I like that quite a bit. Very good lines there. Anderson was a bigger threat to Jan than Reyes. I just think he has to worry about the wrestling. I got Reyes here all day. Still undecided on this fight. Reyes round 2 KO. Thiago Santos finished John with the move that Dominic Reyes does a lot. Yeah, I noticed that. Backing up and sliding up to the left with jabbing. Yeah, I can see that. I can see Jan blitzing in and Reyes countering there. Dom is the young lion, and Jan just became a growl. Oh, did he? Wow. I saw your tweet that Jan has only knocked out the chinniest fighters, and now everyone is saying that following you. Yeah, I noticed that. A lot of people are bringing that up, but it's clear to see. Like, if you look at anything, like, he's knocking out Luke Rockhold. Come on. He's knocking out Corey Anderson, who's not even in the UFC anymore. Come on. If he knocks out Dominic Reyes, huge props to him. Huge props. I just don't see it. Sanchez hoping for an illegal knee. He's hoping for something, man. Sanchez does worry about an illegal strike and faking it. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing I'm worried about in that fight. Parlay Adesanya with Riddell or Espino. I don't know. We'll talk about that fight really soon. You might be right about Reyes. I'm going to play him more. Yeah, I have a big play on him, so hopefully he gets it done. And then with that said, we're going to get to the main event. But before that, thank you all for hanging out. 315 people in the chat. I think that's a top 2. I think we got like 330 before. So thank you all for hanging out on a Friday evening on a card that is decent. It could be a little bit better for a pay-per-view, but it's a good card nonetheless. and we're getting ready to talk about the main event here. All right. So this main event is going to be a good one. One of the matchups I've been really, really, really looking forward to for a while. And I'm scratching my head here. I really am. This is a fight that Adesanya should win. He has a lot of advantages here. He's going to have an 8-inch reach advantage. And, before watching tape, I was, giving, Paulo Costa a very good chance here. And after watching tape, I just did not like what I saw from Paulo Costa. He gets hit a ton. He gets jabbed up, and Adesanya's jab's going to be there all day. I just have a really weird feeling about this fight. A really weird feeling that, Paulo Costa is very, very live here, and he is. So I don't know. I'm not going to bet it. My pick is Adesanya. I can't put money on it. I have a really weird feeling about it that Costa is going to come in here and get a knockout. But all the signs and everything's pointing to Adesanya here. It really is. But I don't know. Just that weird feeling in the back of my head. And I don't know. Costa's a beast. He hits very, very hard. Nasty body shots. If this was in the smaller cage, I would be picking Paulo Costa. I just don't know if Adesanya is going to be able to use that range, that length, be able to run around the octagon in that smaller cage. But since we're in the bigger cage, I do got to favor Adesanya. I do got to pick him, but I'm not going to bet it. I do actually think the value is on Paulo Costa here at plus 160, plus 240 inside the distance. But I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to stay away. Man, it's a tough fight to call. It really is. I see a lot of people with confidence on either side. It's really hard to be confident in this fight here, because Adesanya could be winning all the way up until Paulo lands a very hard shot or a nasty body shot, something like that. So I'm going to stay away. Minus 230, fight doesn't go to decision. I see a lot of people betting the over. So the over is now juiced to the over 2.5 is minus 140, and the under is plus 120, plus 125. Kind of tempted at the under, actually. Because if Paulo Costa does come out here trying to get the fight done right then and there like he does in a lot of his fights, I don't know. I think there's a decent chance it does finish early, but that's pretty much all I'm looking at for this fight. Going to sit back, going to relax, going to watch this fight, going to watch some violence here. I can't put a play on Adesanya at minus 185. I can't do it. Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about putting in a parlay. I'm just going to stay away. If this was closer to a pick 'em, maybe I would take a shot on Adesanya. I do think the value is on Paulo, though. I really do. But give me Adesanya to win in the 4th or 5th round, maybe a decision. But I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this fight. It's one of those fights where you have that weird feeling that he's going to get knocked out. I don't know what it is, but give me Adesanya here. On DraftKings, obviously, I think Paulo's a very, very, very good play at 7,700. He's going to rack up a ton of volume. He lands 8 strikes per minute. And 7,700, it's one of my favorite underdog plays. Adesanya is obviously a good play as well. It's a fight you want to have both sides on, but it's really hard for me to bet Adesanya here at minus 185. I guess I was looking at Adesanya inside the distance plus 135. It's not a bad line. Paulo Costa is plus 275 by KO. Again, not a bad line, but I'm just going to stay away from the main event. What are your thoughts on ding a round robin card for 1/4 of a unit, or do a bunch of props instead of multiple bets? I got Costa round two TKO plus 800. Yeah, I don't hate that if you want to have some fun with it. I actually like round robins quite a bit. I don't understand the confidence in Costa. I don't know. I guess it's just that power. I don't know. Adesanya's chin has held up so far in MMA. He's been knocked out a couple times in kickboxing, but I don't know. It's a weird fight. I think it should be closer to a pick'em. I don't think he's on roids. If you were to fade both main event fighters at the MVP spot on FanDuel for leverage, who would be your favorite fighter to use instead? I think there's a couple options. Juan Espino is a decent option. Brad Riddell is a decent option. Even Jake Matthews is a fine option as well. Or you can just target the fights that should score high, like the Shane Young fight, the Klein, other fights that probably should score high. Ibrahimov, if you want to, take a shot. Yeah, he's not on Roy's, I don't think, but it kind of, he's a built dude. Hopefully it isn't a boring fight, like the Romero fight. I don't think it's going to be. I really don't. Thoughts on Costa's main training partner being Dan Kleebals for this fight? I think it can definitely, I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough fight to call. I was switching back and forth all week on this fight. I do think the rightful favorite should be Adesanya, but man, I'm getting I don't know. I think the knockout could be there. Yes, this is going to be in the larger octagon. Small bet on Costa by KO. I think that's his path to victory. I don't see him winning a decision. So at plus 275. Yeah, there's some value on that line for sure. For sure there is. Costa is the definition of power. Yeah, the dude hits very hard. Some of the combinations he puts together is, unbelievable. Here's a tip: most 175 to lose. Adesanya is minus 175. That is a real stat I follow. Really? I don't know. It's getting a bad vibe about it, so I'm gonna stay away. I don't know. I see a lot of people split 50-50 on this fight. Good luck to anybody that has a bet on this fight. I can't put my money on it. Don't have a strong enough lean. Who do I want to win? I don't know. I like both guys a lot. It's kind of one of those lose-lose situations where you like both guys a ton. Both are undefeated. Somebody has to lose here. I don't know who it's going to be, though. Costa should have tried to get Wonderboy as a partner. Yeah, that would have helped. Whoa. Jan has more power. I don't know. Costa hits very, very hard. The only way I'm betting this is the over. I don't know, because if Paulo Costa wins, it's going to be in that first, second, maybe early third round. Obviously, Adesanya can win in fourth or fifth round. All right, so I'm going to go through my bets right now. And then I'm going to go over my most confident picks and then some confident underdogs on Draftkings. Not confident, but some underdog plays. And then answer any questions. So most confident picks, Dominic Reyes is a really confident pick of mine. I think that Vieira should be fine. Brad Riddell is a pretty confident pick of mine. Jake Matthews, obviously pretty confident in that. Let's see. Other than that, Juan Espino is a pretty confident pick, especially after seeing the weigh-in, after seeing Jeff Hughes. And then, of course, you can't be confident in that first fight of the night. So my bets, I have Juan Espino, and I have him parlayed with Caitlin Vieira at plus 104, 1.5 units on that. And then my other parlay is Dominic Reyes and Jake Matthews at minus 170. I have 3.5 units on that. Very big play for me there. And then I have a straight bet on Ludovic Klein at plus 105. He's now minus 115. And then I'm looking at a couple different things. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Betting breakdown will be out as well. I might add one more play. And then underdogs to target on DraftKings. Obviously, Paulo Costa, 7,700. Jan is a fine pump play. If he does win, it's probably by knockout. Brandon Royval's interesting at 7,300. Obviously, Eubanks, if she wins, she'll score well. Other than that, Shane Young, 7,900. If he wins, it's going to be optimal. This dude throws a ton. William Knight, if he does get a knockout, 7,600, something you want to look at on DraftKings. And I guess Marquez, just because it's the first fight of the night, and maybe he finds a submission, but I don't know. It's a weird fight there. So that's about it. If you guys want to have any questions or anything, I'll be glad to answer them right now. I feel like Costa will simply outstrike Izzy. I don't know. He's going to throw more volume, but can he keep that pace up for 5 rounds? I don't think so. I think he'll have to get a knockout, but I don't know. It's technically somebody doesn't have to lose. You could take a draw. Yeah, take a draw on the Ibrahimov Marquez. Something that's a weird fight. I feel like there could be a draw in there. We're going optimal. Yeah, I got the optimal lineup a couple weeks ago. I was really close last week. I needed them to give Nico Price the win, and I would have been very close. I think maybe would have got a top 5, but hopefully optimal lineup this week. That'd be sweet. If you had to pick who's the best 9K player on DK, I'd say Dominic Reyes, but I really like everybody in the 9K range this week. Brad Riddell is a good play. Juan Espino is a good play. And of course, Jake Matthews is going to be a good play. Your last bet is going to be Ibrahimov? No, don't bet that. Don't bet this fight. Don't bet this fight. Appreciate it a ton. I just hope Sanchez doesn't somehow trip. Yeah, I hope not either. All right, any last questions, guys? I'm going to get out of here and eat some dinner. Props on the new setup. Yeah, it was expensive, but hopefully, like I said, win some money back this week and hopefully make it all back. Is a fight card every weekend the new normal? How long are we going to be spoiling? I think for the next couple weeks. I think the next time we don't have a card is, I don't know, maybe November, late October, something crazy like that. Espino round 1 submission is plus 400. What do I think? I think it's worth a shot. Let's try it again for the top DFS numbers. So close last week. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Martin. If you guys can hit the like button, would really appreciate that a ton. Would love to get to 100 likes. I can't see how many likes we're at now, but 100 would be sweet. Almost to 7,000 subscribers as well. Maybe get it in the next couple weeks. But with that said, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you all for hanging out. We had a good 300 over in the chat all night. Tune into my betting breakdown video tomorrow. Should be getting that out very early. I'm going to be recording it sometime tonight after my live stream on Odds HQ there. What's for dinner? And thanks again for being the best UFC capper by far. Really appreciate that. For dinner, I was thinking some chicken and rice, or maybe some pork chops. That sounds good to me. Appreciate it, Game and Wolf. I'm leading Vieira now. Thanks, Brady. Yep. Good luck, Charlie. Good luck tomorrow. Can you play Jan and Costa as value plays on DraftKings? Yeah, I think they're decent value plays, especially Costa, because he's going to, have a decent amount of upside. You're a beauty, Brady. Appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here, get some dinner. If you guys want to tune into the live stream on Odds HQ, go ahead. I'm going to be on with a couple guys over there talking some more fights. You'll probably hear kind of some similar breakdowns as of now, but why not, get some more UFC knowledge in there. All right, and good luck, guys, and let's win some money for you.